How do you create or pick a great offer or position your existing offer for maximum results? That's what we will concentrate on in today's video. But in order to answer this question correctly, we need to start from the second part of the question. How do you position an offer for maximum results? Get this part of the question right, and you will know what to look for in an offer for your audience. The first thing is how you frame your offer. How you frame an offer determines how people respond to it. Let's perform a short thought experiment. It was first conducted in the 1980s by two psychologists, Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman. It shows how we humans make decisions. We are presented with two problems and are expected to pick one of two options in each situation. Ready? Let's start. Problem 1. There is an epidemic that will kill 600 people unless you implement a program to help. You have two options, Program A or Program B. If you implement Program A, you are sure to save 200 people. If you implement Program B, you will have a 1 in 3 probability of saving 600 people and a 2 in 3 probability that nobody will be saved. Which program will you choose? Pause the video. Make your choice before you continue. Have you done that? Now let's continue. If you choose Program A, then you chose exactly what 72% of the people chose in the original experiment. They went for the certainty that 200 people will be saved. It makes sense when you consider that there is a high risk of losing everybody if you choose Program B, doesn't it? But if you look at it closely, you will see that Program B offers the opportunity of saving everybody, even if it has a 1 in 3 chance. However, only 28% of people were willing to take the risk, even though the potential win was huge. They just couldn't take the risk. Now let's look at another scenario. Problem 2. Is the same epidemic affecting 600 people, but in this case, you'll have to choose between Program C and Program D. If you implement Program C, 400 people will die. If you adopt Program D, you have a 1 in 3 probability that nobody will die and a 2 in 3 probability that 600 people will die. Which would you choose? Pause the video and make your choice before you continue. Have you done that? Now let's continue. If you chose Program D, which gives the possibility that nobody will die, then you chose just like 78% of the original participants in the experiment. They went for the possibility that nobody will die with Program D over the certainty that 400 people will die under Program C. So what point am I trying to make? For you to get the point I'm trying to make, let's place all of Programs A to D side by side and analyze them. Program A, you will definitely save 200 people, but you will also definitely lose 400 people. Program B, you have a 1 in 3 probability of saving everybody and a 2 in 3 probability of losing everybody. Program C, 400 people will die, but you will save 200 people. Program D, you have a 1 in 3 probability that nobody will die and a 2 in 3 probability that 600 people will die. Look closely at the 4 programs. A and C are the same. B and D offer the same results. However, they were framed from 2 different perspectives. The focus in A was the gain, 200 people will be saved. While in C, the focus was the loss, 400 people will be lost. If 200 people will be saved out of 600, it means 400 will be lost. If 400 will be lost, it means that 200 will be saved. So Program A and Program C offered the same results. Therefore, when choices are framed from a perspective of gain, people will avoid all risk as much as possible and go for certain gain and not the largest potential gain. However, if the same choices are framed from a perspective of loss, they will take on higher risks just for the possibility of reducing their losses. Therefore, how you frame an offer will determine to a large extent how people will respond to you. Does your product have just 1% fat? Or is it 99% fat free? They mean the same logically, but if you have to make a purchase decision, will likely respond differently to either. In the first, the focus is it has fat. In the second, the focus is it's fat free. More people will go for fat free without even thinking about it. So how you frame your offer is very important, even if it is the same thing. How you frame it will either project the negativity or the positivity. Will either show people you are gaining or you are risking more loss. And it's the interpretation that they make instantly that will determine which they choose. Now let's look at another thing that plays a big role when it comes to making an offer. If you want to make an offer that people will respond to correctly, there's another thing, important factor you need to take into consideration, and it is the emotional connection. We all like to tell ourselves that we make all our purchase decisions rationally. However, it's been proven repeatedly that the emotions determine what we buy or don't buy most of the time. If we made all our purchase decisions rationally, we'd only buy what we need. Interestingly, we all know we don't. We buy what we are emotionally attracted to and then try to use logic to explain why we bought it. To help you understand this better, let's look at these three keywords: need, want, desire. Let's make some points clear. Protein. We all need protein as human beings. Now, your protein needs can be met by a bowl of beans. If you take a bowl of beans, eat it, it will provide protein. But you may not want to eat beans. What you actually want might be to eat beef. But both beef and beans will meet your need. So if we are going specifically for need, we will say beans, a pound of beans will cost me 5 times more than a pound of beef will cost me 5 times more than a pound of beans. But what I want is beef. And if what I want is beef, I will go for beef. But then, even though I have got beef, there's a way I desire it. I don't want boiled beef. I don't want beef in stew. I want a special barbecued beef they call obalende suya. That's what I ate it once, and that's just what I want. That's what I desire. Now, if I get that obalende suya which I desire, it has fulfilled my want of beef, and it has also met my need for protein. So desire is a much deeper level that shows you exactly what this person is going for. Let's use another example. I need transportation. I need a means of transportation. So I say I need a car. A Volkswagen Beetle will meet the need of transportation. You know, the old type of Volkswagen Beetle, the one that you can't enter with the person in front sitting. The person has to come out, they fold the chair, and you're squeezing. It will meet your transportation need. However, what you want might be a sports car. And if you are asked, what do you really desire? You want a Bugatti Veyron. You want to show, this is the best sports car. I want to drive the very best. That's your desire. Now, if you get a Bugatti Veyron, it will meet your want of a sports car. It will meet your need for a means of transportation. But it is not on the same level with a B2. If we were to make purely rational decisions, logical decisions, you go for the most cost-effective means of transportation, which wouldn't be a Bugatti Veyron, because the cost of changing oil for a Bugatti Veyron will buy a brand new car. But because your desire is that the person who is buying a Bugatti Veyron wants to tell the world, I have arrived, I am a special person, I'm at a different level. That's his core desire. It's more than just the car. So if you understand this, you will now know that for you to present an offer that will trigger the right emotions, you need to hit people at their desire. Now that you understand this, take a look at your offers and ask yourself whether you are framing them correctly. Remember the thought on framing, the experiment on framing. Make sure you are framing them correctly. And also, make sure you are appealing to the needs of your, and ask yourself if you are appealing to the needs of your audience, or their wants, or their desires. For you to get the best results, you need to frame your offers correctly, and you need to appeal to their core desires. If you can hit them at their desires, they will deliver your most wanted response. If you combine this with the right framing your offer correctly, you will increase your conversions dramatically. Now somebody else will ask the question, but what if I don't have a product or service to offer at the moment? You can affiliate yourself to someone who has. You can be a services middleman. Somebody offers a service. Let's say someone offers plumbing services. It's a very wonderful plumber, but he is not a good marketer. You are learning how to market. You can position yourself as somebody who offers this service. You can serve as an agent for him. You get people who need plumbing services. You trust the plumber's plumbing abilities. You link them up. So the plumber gets more job. You link him with more jobs. You take the cut. It's an arrangement you can make. It's what agents do if you're looking for a property. You want a flat, you want a duplex. An agent stands between you and the landlord. You don't know the landlord. He knows the landlord. You connect him. He connects you to the landlord. He takes a commission. It's a simple thing. You can apply it you can apply it in any industry. You can get a very good cake designer and serve as a services middleman. You get the cake designer more customers and take a cut on each of the customers you bring. If you're online, you can be a merchant's affiliate. There are a lot of affiliate programs out there. You pick one, but the issue is that when you pick any of these things, you must offer them in a way in the way we have described. If you offer them in this way, you will make more. You will get more conversions. Like I said, whatever you do, take your time to present your offer in a way that meets the desires of your audience, and ensure you frame it in such a way that you push them towards your most wanted response. Now, I'd like to end by giving you a practical example with selling web designing service. This is my personal experience. In one of the earlier videos, I told you that I went from $1,000 a day to zero. Now, and I told you that I had a basic skill. I learned a basic skill that would take you less than 2 hours that enabled me pull out. Now, that basic skill I learned was how to design websites. Now, it's not the extensive design like the big boys. No, I learned a basic skill, the very basic type. I learned how to do it using certain things, which I will give you a video to this, like I promised, that you too can learn it. But I'm going to show you what I did. I'm going to explain what I did. I learned how to design websites. I already knew that before. But then my attention was drawn to it. And I looked around me, and I was seeing people designing websites for ridiculous amounts. They were marketing web designing as a commodity. So because it was being marketed as a commodity, it was who will give the lowest price. And I'll see people say, I can design websites for you for 10,000 naira. In fact, I also went that route at the time, and it didn't work. But then I understood, if you sell a commodity, it's always the lowest bidder that wins. And sometimes the lowest bidder will not make any profit. So I was thinking about what to do, and I got an idea. I decided to make them an offer they can't refuse. I had to frame my offer in a different way. First, I picked a particular niche that I understood, a group of people that I understood their needs. I grew up in church. Even up to now, I'm a music director. I teach voice. I'm good at what I do. And because of that, I'm very close to pastors. I know their fears. I know their hopes. I know their desires, their aspirations. One of the things I can tell you is that every pastor wants his messages, his sermons to go as far as possible, spread. And now those who are in a denomination, for those denominations that have retirement days, when they are close to their retirement years, they usually have an apprehension. What is apprehension? When I leave this big church, I suddenly have lost my audience. For me to preach, I need to be permitted by the new pastor. So, imagine this. I approach pastors in big churches who can afford the service I want to sell, who were in their 60s. They had in their denominations, their compulsory retirement years was 70. And I go to them, say, sir, you have a church, large church, have 3,000 members today. But in a maximum of 5 years, you will not have access to these people directly. Another pastor will be here and you will be retired. What happens to your ministry, sir? What happens to all those wonderful messages you have preached? What happens to them? Will you just pack them in the cupboard? Wasted. The new generation can benefit from them. And you see the man's eyes lights up. Am I lying to him? No. I'm touching him at the core of his desires. He wants his messages to outlive him. 20 years after you are gone, sir, your messages will still be on if you set things up correctly. So how do you do it? You create a website. You use your current members. Let them get access to it. By the time I start explaining to them how he can use his current audience to push his messages into a position of perpetuity, that even when he passes on, 20 years after, his messages will be circulating on the web. So, wow, I've made sense. I'm no longer selling a commodity. I'm selling him his desire, what he wants. That even 20 years after he's passed on, his messages will be moving. His sermons will be referring to, oh, I'm blessed by this message. Say, wow, I like this. So, young man, how much will it cost? I said, sir, it will cost you just 150,000 naira. This is something that others were selling for 10,000. It's still a website. I'll still design a website, but I was offering them their desire. Now, as they design websites, because the man has 1,000 or so more messages, can you imagine how long it will take for us to begin to take 1,000 messages up? If he pays me an additional 1,000 naira just for each message I upload, over the course of 3-4 years, I will make over 1 million naira from just that one person. What does that tell you? You can sell the same thing everybody is selling, but if you position your offer correctly, hit people at their desire, and frame it correctly, you discover that you will get a lot of people. Now, I'm not saying everybody will accept it, because some people who will have the desire might not be able to afford it. In my own case, I met about 10 people, and I got 2 people. That's a conversion rate of 20%. That's quite large. If I had met 100 people, I could have got 20. My stuff was so successful at a point I just forgot about it. Currently, because these were the people who helped me get a push and got back to my feet. Actually, I don't charge any of them again. I now host these things, and I now just host it for them. In my gratefulness to my coming back, I just left it. I'm still maintaining their websites for them. I don't charge them again. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. If you place your offers correctly, you see yourself selling things that others sell for peanuts. You sell yours for 10 times more, and people won't argue with you. Now, that's about where I will stop for this at this moment. In when we get to our day-to-day, step-by-step process, I will now teach you step-by-step how to, for example, sell web designing service if you don't have a dime. Like in my case, when I didn't even have transport money to go out in some cases, how you can start, have the client give you the money to build, and from there you begin to raise your capital. I will teach you that in a much later video. But now, in the next video, you will learn a simple but fail-proof system for presenting your offers for the best results. Now, I'm not talking about how do you frame your offer or how you the presentation of your offer in the form of what you set up. No, I'm going to tell you the process of making the presentation. You've designed it, you've framed your offer, you've come to a conclusion of the desires of the particular people you are selling to. But there's a way you present it that will get you results, and there's a way you present it that though it's a good offer, people won't still accept it. And that lesson will be the last in our foundational videos. That's the overview videos where I'm telling you, if you don't understand this, you will fail. Thereafter, we will then go into our 90-day step-by-step videos. Those ones will be practical stuff, more practical stuff, because this one's still practical, but we are talking more of theory. Now that's where I will stop for today. I don't want today's video to be so long, but please leave your comments below. You know, I like to read them, and if you have questions, also ask them. I will take my time to go through each of them. Thank you, and God bless you. See you in the next video.